everybody. It's Kelly and Heather with Real Conversations with Kelly. Why does everybody call it a midlife crisis when actually it's a real life reinvention? You wake up one day and start questioning everything, your routine, your relationships, even who you are. I can feel like I'm lost and having some kind of midlife crisis. But what if this isn't a breakdown? What if it's actually the beginning of your reinvention? Today, we're talking about why midlife feels so unsettling and why it might be one of the most important turning points of your life. So, we've got 5 things that we're going to go over. And number one is why it feels like a crisis. I actually went to the dictionary and looked it up because I wanted to know what crisis meant and I wanted to know what reinvention meant. So, a crisis is a moment when things go wrong suddenly and decisions must be made quickly. Okay. So, when you're in midlife, it's a crisis. You got to make decisions. Boom, 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 boom. Reinvention is about transforming into a new and better version of yourself. Ah, that's really good, doesn't it, Heather?
It feels really great. It's almost
Mhm.
as if when you said in a crisis, we make decisions so quickly. I had a vision in my head, the house is on fire and you got to get out really, really quick. And what are you going to grab?
Yes. What are you going to grab?
And that's never good.
Like,
That's stressful,
mm,
totally stressful. I don't want to do that. I hope to goodness in real life, I never have to do that. But that
makes
feels
me want to
terrible.
breathe.
Yes,
Makes me want to breathe.
breathe into it. But so many people call it a crisis. They look online. I'm having a midlife crisis. Am I having a midlife crisis? Crisis. So don't you like it?
Oh, I just don't. It takes you into, because think about it. It's like, gosh, because it makes you do something at that moment that you probably don't want to do, but you know you got to change something.
Mhm.
You know you've got to do something right then. And that's why people go out and buy Corvettes.
Oh my gosh.
About it.
That's so true. People will always say, oh, they must be having a midlife crisis.
Yes. Went out and bought a Corvette. That's their midlife crisis car.
I love it.
Gosh.
You know, it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because it's that is their reaction to not understand what they're going through. It's exactly like the Sunday night icks. Who doesn't have those or have had those? But that's what it is. When you can't explain it, then you fall into a crisis mode where you're just feeling like I got to do something different right now. So I'm gonna go do it because it felt good at the moment. But you
Right.
just don't understand why you did it.
Exactly. I used to have those icks on Sunday nights, and I would go, oh, the week is already starting again. The weekend is gone, and I got to go to sleep and wake up and go to work. And it's not, I don't think it was because I didn't like the people that I worked with or I didn't like what I did. I felt like it was because I just wanted a change. I wanted something different. And I didn't have the words for it, or, my thoughts just didn't go there.
Exactly. You just
So,
couldn't understand it.
right, right. And so I knew it was time for a change. And so then I would ask myself, like, how did I get here? How many of us have had this thought a time or two,
Probably a time or two. Absolutely.
or three, or four, or 10?
I know, maybe we're on 20 by now.
Oh my gosh. And life just doesn't turn out the way we originally planned for it to turn out, the way we thought it was going to turn out. My gosh, I thought I was going to be a fashion designer.
Really? I
No.
didn't know that about you.
Wow. Told you
Wow,
something you didn't
something new. Uh-huh.
know. I
You,
did not
we,
want to be a fireman.
you don't want to be fireman. It's so interesting thinking about this. The times in my life where I've fallen into this little arena where I just don't feel the same anymore, that I'm just ready for a change. I've had some apathy when I've gone to graduations, high school graduations, because they're up
Mm,
there and they're saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And part of me just goes, yeah, you just wait till life really takes over. That probably won't even happen. You'll probably be with 3 kids in 2 years, and you'll be at a job that you hate and this. And I thought, oh my gosh, Heather, that's so terrible that you're thinking these things of these fabulous teenagers that are about ready to go and conquer the world. Do not let your bad attitude rub off on them. Do not. But this is what it is. This is where we're at.
right. What we thought we were going to do, like we got the job and we said, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. I'm so excited. And then it was just like, oh, okay. Very mundane, very not exciting at all.
Mhm.
And you're like, why did it change? Why did this change? And it's just not thrilling anymore. And, it can feel like that everything is unraveling, but we can promise that there is nothing wrong with this because when it unravels, it takes you to a whole different space.
Absolutely. Let the unraveling begin. I had a
Yes.
friend one time, he was a well-renowned hand surgeon. And in his 60s, he decided, it might have been 50s, I think it was 60s, he decided that he just didn't want to do it anymore. Not that he wasn't good at it, but he just didn't want to do it anymore. So he went back to school and became a lawyer. How crazy is that? Totally on two different ends of the spectrum, went back to become a
But it
lawyer.
could have helped him. It could have helped him because, what if somebody left fingerprints or
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe, or maybe he had some run-ins with lawyers in his career. Who knows? We won't say that. That's probably
exactly.
slanderous. Yeah, it might have. So I think a lot of this too is just a sense of just ready for a change. People are sometimes afraid of giving up that which they've done for 30 years. I feel that way. I've been a
Right.
personal trainer and corrective exercise specialist now for 30 years. I'm good at it. And people will look at me and go, you want to do something different now? And part of
Right.
me sits there and goes, oh, gosh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just stay where I'm at. But what you just said was amazing. It is let's unravel and let's literally open up for more.
Right. Because you've been living the roles and now it's time to meet yourself again.
Love it. I want to meet myself again.
Yes. So think about the roles that you've been playing. You've been a mother, a partner, a caregiver, an employee, a supporter, whatever that looks like. And at some point, the roles quiet down, and what's left is who am I underneath all of this? Gosh,
Right. At the end of the day, you're left with just yourself.
yes. And you have to love yourself and like yourself.
Yes. That's so key. I was thinking the other day, whenever it was, writing in my journal, and this was one of my journal prompts that I used, is do you really know who you are beneath it all? Spending time with just yourself, who are you really? And that's what this is all about. Do you like yourself? Truly like
Mhm.
yourself. I think all of us could probably say, yes, I love myself. I like who I am. I love myself. But do you really? Do you love yourself and like yourself more than your husband, your partner, even your kids? Most of us are going to say, uh, uh, am I supposed to? Yes. Honestly, you are supposed to. Honestly, yes. So who are you at the end of the day when all of those roles are stripped away? Who are you underneath it all?
It happened to me when I decided to go to work for a company and not work for myself
Mm,
as a meeting planner
total different direction.
completely, and really did not realize it. And I found out what was underneath because the last time I had been in corporate America was 23 years ago.
Hmm.
And so then I shifted from working for myself, getting my own clients, traveling
A lot.
a lot. And then all of a sudden, I take this job. I work the first 6 months, I worked every day in the office. And because of COVID, they had a they had a hybrid, so 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. And so after 6 months, I did that. But 6 months in the office every day, that was shocking for me.
Right.
Shocking. And not having the ability to, just go to the grocery store at 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Right. Yes.
on a Friday so that you don't get caught on Saturday. And so I had to shift my environment and really figure out what was underneath Kelly.
Mhm.
What was it? What was I wanting to experience differently? And apparently, I was wanting to experience a lot differently. And it's turned out great. But now I'm stepping out again and I'm wanting a different experience. And so my underneath is unraveling, which is interesting. And so really felt like for a moment that I was losing myself, but I realized I wasn't. I was actually meeting myself again. And I was like, wow, this part, this is the first time I've met this part of me because I am not what I was 5 minutes ago.
Yes. Finally.
I love it.
That is like the power statement of all time that you do not have to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. You
Mm-mm,
don't. You can
you do not.
unravel and you can recreate. And yes, the interesting thing is that some of these people that are listening to us may have not had as much personal development background as we have had over the last, I don't know how many years we've been doing it,
Mm,
but this could be their very first time that they're
right,
meeting themselves, that they actually are thinking about themselves. Who are they after the kids leave? Who are they when the soccer games end? That was hard for
right.
me. When my Friday nights and Saturdays were mine again, whoo,
Mm-hmm.
boy, I didn't quite realize what to do with myself. So that's
Yes.
that's amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about why. So go ahead and go down to our next little point
Okay.
with
Number number
discomfort.
three.
Yes.
Number three, the discomfort comes from letting go of the familiar.
We're so familiar with our day-to-day life.
Yes. And I mean, and you figure out that the old version isn't fulfilling
Mhm.
and it was familiar. And where's your new comfort level? Where is that?
Right. We as human beings, all we want is comfort. We really seek pleasure. We want to run away from pain. So, really, truly, everything that we do is in the familiar most of the time because we don't want to be uncomfortable. So, even if your
Hmm.
life was fulfilling and you're starting to feel some different changes, your body is going to, or your brain is going to, just because of who we are as a human species, want to stay where we're at in the familiar.
Right. And I mean, it's scary
Yeah.
because the unfamiliar is very uncomfortable. It's nerve wracking. Yeah. And it just boils down to the familiar versus the unfamiliar.
Right.
I feel that. Feel that. Feel that shift of the familiar versus the unfamiliar. And it's what I've called kind of the gray area. But you can start shifting because you can look at like what routines have you had that kind of feel off. and
Yeah.
and it's funny because when you don't recognize what's coming next, it's like your mind calls it a crisis.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. It's all about not knowing what's next. We don't like
Right.
that.
Exactly. And it's like you've got to like, I mean, what if you called it a reinvention and turned it into an exciting exploration? Oh,
Hey, exploration.
heck, that
Absolutely.
feels better to me. I know it does.
I think that's what's really nice about going onto YouTube and learning something new about something maybe you feel is interested in, or going to Chat GPT and going, well, tell me about this new subject, or just learning different skills is that
Hmm.
is exploration. And that is you taking a step into the unfamiliar, not knowing what it's going to do, but it's also being able to do things that might not be of any consequential anything. Maybe it's a
Right.
play, it's a playing that you're looking into different things just to get used to what it feels like to be in the unfamiliar. So soon you can make that jump.
Exactly. And so that brings us into number 4, which is the beginning of conscious living.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Hmm. So it's being conscious of it, not going to your subconscious.
Or being always from the conscious. I mean,
Right.
sorry, always
Exactly.
being from the subconscious where everything is the same day and day and day and day.
Right. On autopilot.
Right.
No more autopilot. And we've talked about not knowing what we want and all the roles and, what we've played and doing what's expected, following patterns and, checking off the boxes. I never check boxes.
You are not a
I
list
never,
person.
ever, ever check boxes. Nope. Nope. So midlife has the ability to interrupt that. And we feel like it's a superpower waiting to be accessed.
Now say that again. We feel what? That it's a what?
A superpower waiting to be assessed through midlife.
So what? It's not a crisis. It actually is a
It's not
superpower.
a crisis. It's
Hallelujah.
not,
I can get on board with that.
it isn't. And I mean, you can start asking yourself now, these questions. And I mean, it's just going to open up everything for you. So, superpower, here you come,
Hmm.
girlfriend. Okay. What do I actually want? What feels aligned with what I want? And what matters to me now?
Woo. Love those. Okay, okay, I got to interject. When you said what feels aligned, we actually have a course that's going to be coming online soon that talks exactly about finding the things that align with your code of your life. A code meaning things that you follow. It's kind of like your coat of arms or your playbook. Finding these things that actually are important to you. So stay tuned because if you don't know how to get there, we're going to show you how to get there and you're actually going to really truly feel what is aligned with you so that you can consciously live. So stay tuned.
Yes, yes. It'll be perfect for you.
Yeah.
So just remember the moment you stop living by default and you start living by design.
Doesn't that feel better anyways? Don't you really want to have a day? Granted, we still have 9 to 5 jobs, so we still get up and we go to work, and that's totally great, but you still can decide how you live that day in regards to where you've got to go. But doesn't that feel so much better to live
Yes,
by design? Design
right,
your
right.
life.
So you're living by design, which segues into number 5, which is it requires action.
Mm,
When you reinvent yourself, it requires action.
this is where the rubber meets the road.
You got it. It's about transforming into a new and better version of yourself. You can be aware of it. Now, I know that I've talked about this before. Being aware of something is like 90% of getting there. But
Right.
being aware, yeah, that's not enough. You have got to do your action, try new things. Like when somebody pushes your buttons, and we all know people can push your buttons, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your bestie, whether it's a friend, whether it's somebody at work, and you want to react the same way, maybe just say, "Hey, can I get back to you on that?" And then take a deep breath. Take like 2 or 3 deep breaths and maybe take a walk. I've started doing that at work.
Mm.
If I get off the phone and I kind of feel like a little twinge, and I'm like, what would I do in this situation? And I know what I would have done, but instead I get up and I may go downstairs and walk around the park, or I may go and get a snack, or I may just sit there and take 2 or 3 deep breaths and really just feel into like what they said. And that's what I do. And but I have to decide, you have to
Right.
decide and take the action, because if you don't, nothing is going to change. It's going to stay the same. You have to change it in order for you to get a different result. Let me say this again. You have to change in order to get a different result.
Right. Otherwise, we're just stuck in insanity, right? Which is doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same result.
Right,
And we've
right.
all done it. We've all had those times in our lives where we have found ourselves just in this circle that we just seem that we just can't get off of. And actually look back at those times and then see where you were able to get off that hamster wheel. What did it? You will always find that it was always a decision. And you jumped off that spinning tube. You jumped. And look where you are. So, really, if you're looking for evidence that you can actually do this thing, actually make changes, you've got it. You've got it in your past. You can see. Heck, you started walking when you couldn't, started eating solid foods when you couldn't. You started talking when you couldn't. You started doing multiplication tables when you couldn't. There's so many things that we have done. And I know a lot of people play those as trivial things, but no way. Count them as you are capable of learning, you are capable of deciding, and you are capable of acting. So make it happen.
And winning.
And
And
winning.
winning that, because once
Yes.
you change, it's like a win.
Yeah,
And I would tell you, keep track of your wins. Write those down. I don't care how small they are. And they might be big. I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go to, why don't we go to dinner and then let's go listen to some music?" And you're like, "It's Friday night. I've had a long week. I just want to go home, get in my PJs and watch a rom-com."
that sounds like me.
Exactly. So that's a win. Write that down, because when you make the decision that you really truly want, then that's a win to me. I say any small win is a good win.
I agree. That's a great idea.
Yep.
It's to write down your wins just for those days when you are feeling like you need one. Look back and go, okay, I can get through this. I can do it because there is going to be another win in my life. That's a great op.
Yes. And I just put a grid, like with little clips in my cube. And I'm going to start keeping my wins on that. Because I don't do photographs anymore, so I don't print them out, and I don't get things, printed or anything. And I thought, well, what am I going to put up here? And I put my word of the year, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to put my wins. I'm going to write them on a sticky or on a little sheet of paper and just pop them up there. And if it overtakes my little grid, my little photo grid on my side, I'm good.
Well, I'd be rejoicing.
Yes. Woo!
Uh-huh. My wins are running over. Sweet.
Yep. Yep. So one of the things I want you to remember is the feeling of a midlife crisis is actually your invitation.
Mhm.
It's up to you to respond to it. So thanks so much for joining us. Put your comments down and like us and subscribe to us. And we will see you next week.